Volkswagen's brand chief seems to completely disagree with Porsche. Porsche are part of the Volkswagen group, so it's really weird to hear him say this stuff. Porsche have been battling hard. They are the key players behind this basically working back of the 2035 gasoline internal combustion engine ban. They're the ones behind it all. Sure, they've had some help from other supercar companies and from other car companies in Germany and outside of Germany as well. But realistically, it's Porsche that drove it. But now Volkswagen's brand chief, who seems to be pulling the strings, says synthetic fuels will be dead by 2035. Or in fact, he said that gasoline and e-fuels will be over for this one reason. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel on the Electric Viking. Great to see you. And it's really interesting to hear this because this shows some very clear controversy here. Clearly, one CEO is saying one thing, another is saying another. I mean, this is even a contradiction to the actual CEO of Volkswagen. It seems to me a bit of a power play, a bit of a power struggle is still going on at Volkswagen. Herbert Diess leaves. Still power plays going on here, still politics going on here. Volkswagen's brand chief, Thomas Schaefer, said that the recent discussion over an e-fuel exception to the EU's 2035 internal combustion gas car ban is unnecessary noise. Basically, it's pointless because by 2035, combustion engines are over anyway. In a recent interview with Automotive News Europe, he confirmed to us what we as electric car fans already know. But clearly Porsche don't know. Clearly Volkswagen CEO doesn't know either. Volkswagen CEO, he just said that combustion, e-fuels and electric cars won't compete with each other, but they will coexist in 2035. Interesting here. Clearly the company is not aligned. The brand chief here has a lot of power. He's basically the second in control, the second most powerful person in the company. The interview covered European topics like the availability of Volkswagen's upcoming EVs in Europe. But the Volkswagen executives spoke forcefully about electrification being a no-brainer and being the future of the automotive industry completely, 100%. There's no hydrogen, there's no synthetic e-fuels, there's nothing else. There's just EVs. The website electric.co says that the EU recently was about to finalise a plan to ban new internal combustion engines by 2035. But at the final hour, auto-producing countries, including Germany and Italy, most specifically Germany, objected to the plans. The proposal was slated not to get final approval until Germany made a compromise with the European Commission, allowing e-fuels as a climate-neutral fuel for combustion vehicles. It kind of reminds me in a weird way of World War II. Germany and Italy got together to try to annihilate the world. Now, I know it's nothing even remotely similar to that, but it's just sort of weird that it's like Europe still having these battles internally and Germany and Italy ganging up again. E-fuels are synthetic fuels that can be produced from captured carbon emissions. But there isn't yet any technology that actually does this effectively at all. It doesn't exist yet. The European Union and Germany are just saying, well, it will by 2035. Promise. So the idea is that you capture these carbon emissions from the atmosphere, manufacture this fuel, then you reburn the fuel and send those emissions back into the atmosphere, making it carbon neutral. Now, of course, in the real world, it won't happen this way. And the reason for that is that there will be no way to police this. If you buy a car, right, that runs on synthetic fuels, it can run on gasoline as well. And therefore, there's nothing stopping you from simply going to your local petrol station, your local gas station, and filling up on whatever fuel you so choose. I mean, it'd be very, very hard to police this, almost impossible. You'd have to have number plate recognition for every single car coming into the gas station to actually prove that car, no, we can't give you gasoline, we can't give you petrol, we can't give you whatever fuel because you're driving a 2035 model vehicle. It'd be impossible to actually ban. I think I'm the only person pointing this out. I don't understand why people aren't paying attention to this fact. How do you police this? You cannot police this. Basically, the European Union just has a get-out card now because of Germany, in particular because of Porsche, to not actually ban internal combustion engine vehicles at all. But I agree with the brand chief of Volkswagen. It will make no difference. Internal combustion engines will be dead well before 2035. Yes, even in America. Now, Electric says that e-fuels need a source of carbon to be fueled with to begin with, And most carbon capture currently happens in oil and gas fields. This carbon is used to help drill more oil or used in tricky accounting to make firms look carbon neutral when they actually aren't. If carbon reductions from capture get double counted by the oil company doing the capturing and by the cars that are burning it, then we end up pretending that we're making more carbon reductions than we actually are. And the thing is, it's worse than it sounds, because once you take these emissions from your oil and gas fields, where no one lives, by the way, then you burn them in the city. You're basically just taking these emissions from this area and putting them to where millions of people live. It doesn't actually work remotely similarly to the way it's intended, because the reality is these tailpipe emissions are the worst offenders. That's the worst thing for you and your health. Probably the most toxic thing that most people are actually consuming is emissions from cars. It takes energy to make e-fuels as well. In fact, they're incredibly energy intensive. Apparently, it takes 4 times more energy to actually create synthetic fuels than to simply put that energy straight into an electric car. So it doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you waste all this energy, solar and wind resources, on converting carbon into a fuel only to burn it and release that carbon into the atmosphere where millions of people live, when you could just charge the car with the electricity from solar and wind in the first place? I've said all along, it's the most illogical idea ever. Now, combine that with the fact that e-fuels cost an insane amount of money, around 6 times more than internal combustion engine fuel. So they're around 6 times more expensive than petrol, gasoline, and diesel. That's a lot of money. Volkswagen's brand chief says that e-fuels are simply a distraction. So the e-fuel exemption is somewhat of a maintenance of the status quo or unnecessary noise, as he says. Auto News said, what do you think about Germany's subsequently successful bid to modify the 2035 EU combustion engine ban to include cars powered by e-fuels? And he said, that's unnecessary noise from my point of view. By 2035, combustion engines are over anyway. We said by 2033 we're done. By 2030 we plan that 80% of our vehicles sold in Europe are battery electric. So why spend a fortune on old technology that doesn't really give you any benefit? Now, what he's referencing there, he's saying that in 2033, Volkswagen, the brand, not the group, will no longer be selling anything except for EVs. He's not actually referring to Porsche here. Porsche do plan on indefinitely selling internal combustion engine vehicles. That's what they've said. Then he was asked, who's behind the German position? Party politics? Volkswagen Group CEO Oliver Blume? It's not Mr. Blume behind it. I can guarantee that. The discussion around e-fuels is widely misunderstood. They have a role to play in existing fleets, but won't replace EVs. That's complete nonsense. Look at the physics of making e-fuels. We don't have enough energy as it is. Why waste it on e-fuels? I think he knows exactly what's going on here. I love his response. It shows his education, his understanding of the actual physics behind it all. Now, Electric says that Volkswagen has been among those at the forefront of the industry in terms of electrification. Much of its progress happened under its former CEO, Herbert Diess, who stepped down, or actually technically was fired last year, and was replaced by former Porsche CEO Oliver Blume. Now, you can imagine that Oliver, being the CEO of Porsche, will be right into internal combustion performance cars. That's what Porsche is all about. So I can kind of see what his position is, where he's coming from. He wants to continue perpetuating the old technology that he's used to. But then the brand chief is saying, no, this doesn't make sense. It's idiocy. Interesting. So there were questions about whether or not the new CEO of Volkswagen would be positive about electrification in the same way as Herbert Diess. Now, Herbert Diess was just all in on EVs. And Herbert Diess himself said that consumers would be dumb to buy one of Volkswagen's internal combustion engine vehicles, their gas-powered cars, in 2021. It looks like Volkswagen as a brand is charging forward with EVs. But that said, they have put their new fully electric platform on hold. So they're sticking with MEB, which is, in my opinion, heavy, a bit old, and complex to build. It's not a platform that enables Volkswagen to build an EV at a low cost. They say they're going to revamp this platform to make it more competitive, more efficient. So they're going to put on their new platform, they're going to put it on hold indefinitely. We have no idea if they'll return to making it. I think they should. What do you think? Let me know. Now, I agree with the new brand chief. I don't think anyone's going to want a gas-powered car and an internal combustion engine car in 2035, even pickup truck owners. I think by then the battery technology will be so far advanced, energy density will be so high, we'll have cars with a range of 600 plus miles, 1,000 plus kilometers, just be the norm. It'll be average. People won't even think about range all that much anymore. They will if you're towing a really heavy load, but even then, I mean, if you're towing really heavy loads, you'll simply get a new advanced version of whatever battery pack is available. That's how fast the technology is improving. Moore's law definitely still applies to battery technology. You don't realize it, but actually it is happening. Now, that's what I think. I know a lot of people disagree with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.